Hey, friends, Michael Kingswood here. I've got my hair down. We are joined today for this update. Well, we were joined for this update with the cutest doggy in the world, but she just left, so never mind. But hey, it's story time. It's always story time around here, and we are doing our first update on the Kickstarter for, wait for it, 52 Stories in 2023, Volume 1, which can be backed at the link below my face. It's a short link. It'll takes you to obviously the proper Kickstarter page. And then following that, we're going to do a quick Warship Wednesday. I'm going to, as opposed to reading from other naval history, I'm going to tell you a sea story of my own, which I promised I would do, and I figured, why not make it? Why not do it this time? So let's get right to it, shall we? Allow me to share a window here. Sorry. Okay. So here we are. We are just over a day into this campaign. And as you can see, we've already crushed through the goal. The goal was 200. I set the goal relatively low so that it was going to be easy to make and also make less stress off of me, but also because the last campaign was for a full novel. This is for a collection of short stories. Wasn't sure if there would be a big difference in the reception or not. So, but we blew through this very quickly. Let me show you something different thing for by way of comparison. By way of comparison, this is what happened in my last campaign season, which was the Gloom Veil novel number 6. You see, we ended up with $155 total. But look down here at the progress. It took, it started on February 15th, and it took until February 18th, 17th or 18th. So basically 3 whole days to get that done. So by that standard, things are going swimmingly better. We actually broke through that goal in 3 hours, which is 24 times faster than on the last campaign. So over here, KickTrack is a cool little website. It's showing, it's a different way of viewing how Kickstarter campaigns are going. And let me refresh it here real quick. It has trend charts and a whole bunch of other things, right? So you can see that yesterday we got, this is the interesting thing, right? Yesterday, and today have been interesting. The campaign got going at about 12:45 p.m. My time is now 5 o'clock Pacific time. So we're 4 hours into the day and no movement so far at all today. But that's okay. Whereas a lot of movement yesterday. Interestingly enough, all the movement yesterday went until about 8 o'clock my time, and then so we've been almost a whole day of nothing happening. But that's okay. The other fun thing is that KickTrack does these little trend lines and predictions. Like last night at about 10 o'clock when I pulled this up, it was saying you're going to get over $4,000 off of this. And now it's worth saying less than that because there's been not a lot of money put in the last few hours. And of course, there's no way it's actually going to go to get a 3,000, even 3,000. I could see 1,000 based on how the last campaign went and how quickly things are going on this one. But 3,000, that'd be awesome. Don't get me wrong. If every whole bunch of people want to back the campaign, I'm down for making a $3,000 campaign. But things tend to grow. Things don't tend to do huge prompt jumps like that, right? It's usually incremental kind of thing. And my platform and audience has been growing slowly and over the years, and frankly has shrunk a few times as I've done nothing for a year or two here or there. So I expect that this one is probably going to do better than the last one, but it's not going to be that much better. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. That would be awesome. Anyway, let me go back to the uh, Kickstarter screen here. The other cool thing I liked was that down here, like there are 27 people following the project. There were 23 following it when the project launched, which means a bunch of people have gone and said, "Hey, let me know." As want a reminder towards the end of the campaign to come and get back it, which is good. And nine people who have been following it backed it. So 33% conversion for that, which actually is better than the last one. So that's good too. So things are going pretty well. I'm not going to spend your time going back through the video and stuff, but very pleased with how the first day has gone. Obviously, there are more days to come, and 19 actually, I guess 19 full days. Although it's going to end. It's going to end. Was it 21st, 20th, April 4th at 12:45 p.m. So I was wondering as I made the campaign, I think I mentioned this, maybe I didn't mention it yesterday. I was wondering if I should have just made it a 14-day campaign because what tends to happen during campaigns is that there will be a initial spike of money and then a what do you call it, a plateau and then a spike at the end. And you can kind of see that on the last one I did, the campaign season. Let me pull up the kick track for that again, show a different perspective on it. This is a completed campaign. If you take out that green project funding successful thing, you'll see the beginning was a spike and then not a whole lot for a week or two, and then another spike at the end. And so based on that, I was like, maybe take that middle week out, but I didn't because I've only done a few of these and we're seeing how they go. And yeah, but we'll see how this ends up. If this one center week ends up being a nothing burger, maybe next one we'll just do a 14-day one. Hey, look, cutest dog in the world just showed up. Say hi. And we have to have her along. So anyway, that's what's going on with the campaign. It's going well so far. If you're watching this and you're planning to back it and you haven't backed it yet, then what are you waiting for? Go do it. If you're watching this and you had no idea the campaign was in existence, go check it out. Maybe it's something you'll like. And if you like it, back away. Not back away as in back away, get out of there. As in, why back? Back it. Help brother out. That'd be great. All right, so on to Warship Wednesday. I'm just gonna do that. No, I'm not going to do the Warship Wednesday intro because that'll just break everything up. But those of you who don't know, I was a submarine officer in the Navy. I'm going to tell you a sea story. No classified details, obviously. So there we were. I've been several times over the years. I did a bunch of instructor duty things when I was in the Navy, and then of course you meet people. And several times over the years, it's been, man, what was the scariest time on the boat? And it's actually a pretty. Hey, dog just hit my desk and camera. You stay. That's an easy answer. So this is what happened. There we were. We were someplace doing some things and exercise things, not, actually, we're doing an exercise someplace, doing exercise stuff. And one of the ships we were working with during the exercise was this great big military CDF command ship. And we had been doing the stuff all night, and we were getting ready to go back out because most of the things we were going to be supporting were going to be happening at night. We were getting ready to go further away from the shore where we were, just to give us more room to maneuver and take care of business during the day, to our day steaming box, if you will. And we were at the periscope depth and ventilating to replenish some of the air because we were doing the diver's air charge and a few other things. And I had the deck, and we're cruising west, and I see that big old military Sea Lift command ship way up north of us, and I'm keeping tabs on it periodically because ships move, but she's pretty much station keeping up there. So okay, no sweat. And, we're creeping along, and I'm watching the ship, and it's pointing at us, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh look, we're about to cross the T on the ship. And if you don't know, crossing the T is when you would have one ship, right? You're going this way, and the other ship goes this way, so you could rake the entire length of the ship with your cannon as you're going across with your broadside. And it looks like a T, right? So it's crossing the T. So like, this is cool. So we're crossing the T on, especially if you're crossing the T, and I'm looking at the bow of the ship. I'm like, yeah, cool, and but still pretty far away. I'm looking at it in high power, so I'm not concerned. And a while longer, I turn the periscope over to my junior officer deck, and I go talk to the captain at the navigation plot, and we're deciding where we're going to go, what we're going to do, and we're talking there for a few minutes, and all of a sudden my junior officer of the deck, he does a formal periscope observation on this ship, and he calls off a so when you take periscope observations, there's a reticle on the periscope with a number of divisions across it. And based on if you know the masthead height of the ship or the height to an object on the ship, you can take the number of, and you know the number of divisions on the reticle, and you know how many. There is a computation you can make. It's just simple trigonometry to figure out the approximate range. And if you get if you know the ship class well enough, so you can pick out an accurate height, like 50-foot height or something like that, and you are good at calling off the number of divisions, you can get a pretty good range. And that's how they shot back in World War II a lot of times, and that worked pretty well. Anyway, so he calls off a periscope observation with a number of divisions that made both me and the captain go because the range he had just called off on the ship put that ship at like less than a mile from us. And then he called off an angle in the bow. The angle of the bow is, if you're looking at the ship, it's angled to you. So if it's pointing straight at you, the angle of the bow is 0, right? If it's got, you can see its port side, it'd be starboard port 10, 20, 30, 40, starboard side, starboard 10, 20, 30, 40. And it was like starboard 15. So less than a mile from us, closing, and and it's still pointing kind of towards us. Like, holy cow. So the captain goes over the periscope, and he's looking at it. And I'm like, emergency deep captain. He's like, nope, we got it. I was like, you sure? Like, yeah, we got it. And I'm just watching him as he's starting, because as you get close to another ship, when ships you've seen this in real life, as a car is coming towards you, as far away, it's not moving much angularly, but as it comes close, the angular change of the direction you're looking at goes the angular velocity, if you will, becomes quite large. So, and we call that bearing rate. And so all of a sudden he's on scope, and he's turning fast, looking to the stern of the ship, and then passes. And at the same time, he's sweeping through our stern, and near the periscope depth, there's always rolling of the ship because it's a round hull. And so a submarine will tend to roll more than a equivalent sized surface ship, just because of the design of the hull, right? So you're always getting some rolling at periscope depth, but all of a sudden we start rolling a lot. And then because the freaking ship's wake was tossing us as it passed maybe a couple hundred yards away. So the ship passes, the captain gets the scope, junior officer deck takes back over, and we look at each other. I'm like, and I could see he was he was pretty cool and calm, but I was a little freaked out. I was like, when are we doing the critique, Captain? He's like, what are you talking about? It's like, well, we just almost got run over. So, no, we're good. I'm like, yeah, but we have critiques and formal fact findings and what went wrong things for reactor stuff. That we're good. It's like, okay. So that's one time I almost got run over by a big old military sea lift command ship. I wasn't. In retrospect, it's like, ooh, well, it was scary at the time. It's still a scary thing about because there have been boats that have been run over by big ships like that before. You guys have seen some of these episodes on the news, or boats who have come up under other ships before. You guys have seen that in the news too. If you may recall, way back in the late 90s, the Greenville versus the Hime Maru, what did the emergency blow right up underneath that Japanese fishing boat, killed a bunch of kids who were there on a summer school thing. Yeah. So, and there have been other collisions with surface craft and things. I mean, these sort of things happen. You don't want to be the guy who it happens to, and you know, because not only does you potentially hurting and killing a lot of people, hurting or killing a lot of people and causing lots of damage, but also I mean that's the reason why. But even if nobody gets hurt and there's not much damage, you're done as a Navy dude. You run aground or collide with another ship, unless it's ordered. There are times when there's a maneuver that or the surface vessels ships train on to doing called shouldering, where you will go and you will bump another vessel away. That is pretty much never done, and it's only going to get done if you're ordered by the admiral to do it. But otherwise, because that's an intentional collision, right? And it can damage both ships. But that's something that could be done, but it's generally not. Anyway, so that's the story for the day. Next week we'll get back to more historical stuff. Although, considering how old I am now, that's a historical story. You don't know it. You don't know when it happened. You don't know where it happened, and you won't. But I mean, no harm, no foul on that one. But still, it was scary for a few minutes. Okay. I think that's it. We're going to go and sign off. I'm going to take care of some business. It's time to make dinner for the kids. And yeah, we'll come back tomorrow with another campaign update. If you have not yet backed the campaign, follow the short link down there below my face. It's also in the show notes in the description. And go check out the campaign and get some fun stories. Help a brother out with some profitability. All right. Y'all have a good one. I will talk to you tomorrow. Until then, don't do anything I wouldn't do.